Three, two, one. Hey, everybody, this is Victor. I am here with Kris. We're going to be talking about his real estate journey, how he went from being a beginner, trying wholesaling, to making 10 offers, building momentum, and getting close to a couple deals. How are you doing?
Doing good, man.
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, I'm glad we could connect here. I'm glad we could chat. So, just wanting to hear your story, wanting to see the progress you've made. You've done quite the leap, and you're learning a ton and getting out there and making offers. So, I want to share that with everybody. But as we get into it, like, what's your background and why did you want to get into real estate in the first place?
So we can go back to 2015.
Okay.
I was just working a job that I really just did not like,
Mm-hmm.
but it was paying the bills, of course. And well, even before that, I was, of course, in school. Then when I stopped going to school, that's when I went from working part time to full time, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just one day after work, I really got into a little heated argument with one of my managers over something real petty, but I just didn't like that. I got home one day and I was just like, do I got to do something else? It's it has to be something else out here. And I was just googling, you know, entrepreneurship stuff and business stuff. What do millionaires do and stuff like that, and looking at stuff on YouTube and googling and two things that always pops up is people trading stocks and people buying real estate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of millionaires around the world owns real estate, whether
Mm-hmm.
they're flipping, they have commercial or apartment company, just real estate. So got to looking into that. This was around 2015, 2016, and I looked up the local real meetups around in the area, and I started going to them, started meeting people, and I met this one guy who flipped houses. He came and spoke. He was actually a guy that came and spoke in the
Uh-huh.
meeting, and he gave his number out. He wrote on the
Okay.
board. He was like,
Yeah.
y'all have any questions, just feel free to call or text me. And I wrote his number down, and then like the very next day, I sent him a text message. Now I called him, left him voicemail, and he called me back, and I told him that I was in that meeting, and you put your number out. I just had some questions about real estate, and he was like, meet me at my office. He gave me a date, meet me at my office, and we can talk. And basically, I rode around with him. We got in the car, rode around, and he
Mm-hmm.
took me to different properties he was working on, and he took me to a neighborhood, and he was like, you see that house right there? He was like, that's my very first. He took me to the very first house that he ever flipped
Oh,
and
really?
all that.
Cool.
And he just told me his journey a little bit, and from then on, I was like, man, I want to get into real estate, and like I just met somebody who's really successful in it, and talking to other people that actually personally know him that was in that meeting, they was like, that guy right there, like he's the real deal. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
why he's here speaking today. And he was motivating everybody, like, y'all in here for a reason, get out
Mm-hmm.
there and start doing it. And yeah, after that, I was just still working, fast forward, I'm still working. Then my whole thing was, you know, not having the funds. Because
Okay.
one thing the guy said, he was like, the way he had bought his first house was he borrowed money from one of his uncles. He was like, his
Mm-hmm.
uncle made a lot of money in the real estate industry from the LA. Originally, he was from LA, and he was like, his uncle made a lot of money doing real estate, and it was like when he moved to Nashville, that's when he borrowed money. He asked his uncle, give me a loan. I want to flip this house. He got it, and he did it, and he went up from there. And I was like, man, if only I can if I had somebody like that, or which I kind of let that hold me back
Mm-hmm.
because I've always been told, whether it's a family member or just somebody you meet, it's like if you have a deal, the money will follow.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've always been told it, but I just always let that, hold me back, which is why I never I'm just not really getting started to
Mm-hmm.
trying to flip houses. That's and which, like I said, you want to fast forward to about 2018,
Mm-hmm.
2017, it's when like wholesaling got so big, like everybody started doing that.
Yeah.
And that's when I started trying to do that. And I was like, I'm not consistent enough for that. You know, just sitting there, like people are like, you know, they like, you got to pound those phones. You got to phone calls every day, all day,
Mm-hmm.
sending mail letters. Like, and then it's like, if you ain't got $5,000 to $10,000 to spare, like you're gonna be trying to come out of pocket, like especially with direct mail and
Right.
you know all that. It's like it started getting expensive trying to do all that and trying to keep up, and it was just like I don't know. And I actually got close to some deals
Mm-hmm.
going whole.
How did those go? Because I remember you told me about those. How did those, like, what happened?
Yeah.
And
So one of them was the guy was just being hard, like just being hard to deal with. He wasn't really, I could say he just wasn't really very motivated.
Okay.
But he just wanted to see what can I offer him basically. And I'm talking about we went back and forth about 2 weeks talking back and forth until he finally was just like, you know what, we can't agree on that. We couldn't agree on really a price, but I was like, you know, I can work with that price that he was giving me. Then he was like, if we can't close in 10 days, there's no deal. But I was like, I at least need a 10-day inspection before we close anything anyway. Well, I can give you a day or two. He was just being very hard to work with. So I let that one go. Then another one came. It was just one. I was doing this. I was gonna partner with another guy that was getting in the wholesaling game, and he found the deal, and she was just being hard on the price. She was just like, she was going off of what Zillow saying. She was like, well, Zillow say my house is worth, or I can get 250,000 off of it. This is the Nashville, of course. And I was like, your house is not worth 250,000 right now because you have $40,000 worth of work to put into it. I can't give you 200K. She was like, well, I know I can't get the full price because it does need work, but I needed to be close to it. I get her an offer. She declines it. And I was like, But then later on down the line, like probably a couple of weeks down, I ended up following up with her. And she was like, well, I can come down on it, but I still don't want to be, you know, I still don't want a low ball offer. And I was like, well, I can give you another offer. And I gave her another offer. Then she just never replied. She didn't like that offer neither. So that didn't fall. And then the third one was a guy, a tree fell through his roof. But the guy, I think the guy was a contractor himself. He worked on houses, but just didn't have time to mess with that house. It was a house that actually his dad was renting out. It was his dad's house that he was renting out here in Murfreesboro. And he just didn't have time to get to it himself. So they was like, you know, we just accepting offer. We can see, we just seeing what people offering us or whatnot. Well, I was like, well, I can meet you at the property. And he was like, okay. He'll give me a day. He'll give me a time to meet. I show up and he not show up.
Oh, really? Huh.
Call him. He was like, oh man, I forgot, man. I'm still working right now, man. You know, and that happened like 3 times.
Yeah.
Then like after the 3rd time, I was just like, look, dude, like, what do you want out of this property? You know, what do y'all want? What? Then he was like, well, 2 years ago, which was before that even happened, the hole in the roof because the tree fell through. He was like, you know, we was offered, you know, 50K. And he was like, well, I know the market done went up a little bit now because it was like I said, 2 years passed. And he was like, I know the market done went up. So, you know, I'm like, well, basically you saying you want about 50K or more than 50K, but I'm like, well, you have a hole in your roof now. I'm definitely not going to give you that much. Definitely not going to be money. He was like, well, yeah, I know. But I was like, look, dude, let's just, you know, let's try to work something out. But then we just never worked nothing out. We never talked. He like I said, never could meet up. You know, and some time went by and I followed up with him again, and then he was just like, I just decided to keep it and I'm gonna fix it myself. I was like, well, okay, if you change your mind, you have my number. I haven't it's been months since I talked to him. So yeah, like I said, then after that, I kind of got a little discouraged, and I was like, you know what, whatever. And I've been working ever since. And then fast forward, I meet you. Well, me and you end up talking online, and you had hit me up before and asked me. And then I guess I don't think I replied to you, did I? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't remember that part. Yeah, but I know like you were doing the wholesaling, didn't have a lot of success, just like you talked about. Like you didn't feel like you made any progress, and then you took a break from it, and then we connected. I said, hey, you know, flipping's a lot easier than wholesaling. So, and don't let money hold you back if you got the right deal. So you became a student of mine. So how's it been going since then? Like, I know you've been out there making offers. You've gotten close a couple times. So I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, man. It's hard. You know, I always heard the harder part about getting in real estate is just finding a deal. And that's it. But yeah, man, I just been making out. Like I said, the real estate agent that I ended up connecting with is a woman that she works with my mom. Actually, I met her through my mom. Cause my mom is buying the house, buying the house through her. And one day I was talking to my mom about what I was doing, and she was like, you know, you just gotta be careful. You gotta know you gotta deal with people you trust, and you know, it's coming from my mom. And then then I asked her about her real. I'm like, how's it going with your real estate agent and you? And she was like, it's going good. We've been looking at properties and whatnot. And then she ended up saying, she was like, you know what? You should contact her because she is an investor too, and she helps people out, you know, getting into real estate. I was like, oh really? I was like, how long you been knowing this knowing this woman, mom? And you know, been knowing for the past year or so, I've been talking about getting in real estate. And she was like, I just, you know, so I didn't think about it, but you know, this is how you can contact her. So I contacted her, and it's been good. Like but she don't flip. My realtor, she don't flip. She does cash flow. Everything's rental.
Okay.
She building a rental portfolio. But she understands, like I said, you know, like I told you before when I first met her, like she understands. So when I was like, your screen.
Oh, your screen paused there. Let's reset your video. You still there? Hey, there we go. Okay. So you're talking about the realtor. So like as you get into flipping, you need to build your network, which you've started to execute on. You're doing great there. So you found this realtor.
Yeah. And yeah, that's where a lot of deals have been coming from that I've been sending you to check out for me. And that, and then like I said, on one of those Zoom calls, the group calls, when I said I hopped on Facebook and I joined a lot of groups, and I end up was just making posts in a few wholesaler groups. And that's why the wholesalers, I got the list of wholesalers, the guys that I've been talking to that wholesales, and they've been sending properties out. So that's pretty much where I've been getting my deals sourced from. That I've been checking out, and y'all make some offers. And that very first one with that one that I showed you that was in Rossville, Georgia. That very first one that came from a wholesaler. You know, when we talked about it, the numbers just didn't work out. But yeah, that's basically where I get my deals from. I deal with wholesalers, and I have my realtor.
No, that's good. I mean, you're out there, you're building deal flow, like you're looking at deals consistently. That's fantastic. So that's the way to do it. You can't get tied into one specific deal or fall in love with one specific deal because it might fall through. And it's just important to build that deal flow. And you've gotten close on a couple deals, so it's just a matter of time because you're out there, you know, making offers consistently. So that's fantastic. But before we were talking, before we started this recording, before we did this are doing this interview, you talked about some of the benefits of working with a mentor, like you feel just more confident. I'd love for you to like dive deeper into that. Like what's been your experience of working together?
So this is like when we first started, and it was like I said, I was like just not saying forget about real estate, but I was just like, I'll wait. But it's like time waits for no man. And it's like you know, when me and you got started, it just put that fire back into me. It's like I know I have someone right there. Like any questions I need, you respond right back.
Mhm.
You know, every deal that I've ever sent you for you just check out. What do you need help with? Want to know ARV repairs, whatever I can help. And it's like having a mentor. You won't make those mistakes. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, how they say you got to go through failures to learn, or, you know, this, and that to learn. But sometimes those failures can really hurt your pockets and everything. And it's like, it's good to have someone, a mentor, someone to stop you from making those mistakes, which is why I agree. Yeah, let me do this mentorship. And I can always have someone right there as you being right here the whole time, every question I need, every step of the way. And that's why I love about having your mentorship. You're very helpful. Your course very good. The whole mindset thing is very important. So anybody that's watching this, that's normal. That's key. Work on your mindset. If you don't have the mindset for it, you'll lose track. You'll lose focus. You'll fall off. The idea, like I had my mindset was up and it was up and down at first. It was like I need to go full fledged focus on this,
Mm-hmm.
and now I get it.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate the kind words. Like you're making awesome progress. And that's what I experienced too when I was working with a mentor. Like you make a mistake and they correct you, or they say, hey, that's normal. And just having someone who's been through it is super helpful. It's like, oh, I guess that's not that uncommon. Because when you're just doing it on your own, you're just in a silo, and it sometimes feel like, oh, there's no one out here helping me. It's just me on my own. So if I give up, it doesn't matter. But just having that help in that community is huge. So with that, would you recommend others work with me as well?
Yeah, most definitely.
And then why should someone listening take action now?
Like I said, time waits for no man. If you've been thinking about getting in real estate, especially right now, like time is now. Just getting it. Time was 3 years ago when the market started booming.
Right.
It is just like now, it's just like, wow, wait, you know, get into the if you've been thinking about investing in real estate, get at it. Find you a mentor, find you a good real estate agent, you know, good title company, good, you know, everything, especially a mentor. A mentor is key and to help you through the whole process. Somebody that's gonna be there, like I said.
No, that's huge. I'm definitely with you there. Well, this has been fantastic, Kris. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Hopefully this has been insightful for everyone who's going to watch this as well. Just hearing about your journey, like how you like almost gave up, or on the brink of giving up, to now you're out there like making offers, gotten close on a couple deals. We've solved a lot of the problems that you had before, and now you're out there chugging. Any final thoughts or any final tidbits of wisdom that you want to share as we wrap up here?
Not really. Just, you know, never give up. Don't give up. If that's your dream to be a real estate investor, you can do it. Whether it's flipping, being a landlord, you know, developing, whatever avenue you want to get into. Like I said, find you a mentor, get the right coaching, and do it. Just do it.
Perfect. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap it up. Just do it. Get out there. Time waits for no man. I like all those quotes. Perfect. Well, thanks so much, Kris. Appreciate it.
All right.